Hello, my name is Tim, my company is Sports and Touring, and we are Jaguar F-Type specialists. It's a great pleasure to show you this car. It's an F-Type R-Dynamic 380 in a very rare colour, Gallium Silver, also known as silicon silver. And it's a silver shade with just a touch, perhaps, of bronze in it, maybe just a hint of grey. It's just off silver in a very attractive way indeed. And coupled with the black pack and the black side skirts and splitter of the design pack, and sitting on these beautiful 20-inch Gyrodyne wheels, which have been freshly refurbished, diamond cut, and with Jaguar's technical grey, it adds up to a very attractive visual package. Let's take a look around. The F-Type is just such a stunningly good-looking thing, isn't it? It's a car which, as we often remark, seems to take on a different form depending on the colour palette selected for it. And I must say that although this is a very rare colour, it is also a very attractive one. It's refined and yet impactful. It's eye-catching, but in no sense too much in the way that, for example, Fire Sand Orange might be. It's a car which would be as comfortable outside the casino at Monte Carlo as it would in the car park at Sainsbury's. And this is an example as well which has been diligently looked after. It's a 3-owner car. It has very fine service history. We're just about to service it at Marshall Jaguar Newbury as well. And both inside and out, it is a glorious example of the F-Type coupe. Let's take a look inside. The car will be supplied, of course, with the original owner's book pack and 2 remote key fobs, and pressing the button on the fob causes the door handle to pop out and the power fold heated mirrors to move into the driving position as well. Opening the door then, and we look into the cockpit, and what a beautiful place it is. Starting with the door card here in jet. That's the black name that Jaguar applies to its interior finishes. Everything in very fine condition, with the little badge there telling us that this car has the Meridian sound system installed. Scuff plates often tell a story about a car's history, whether it's been diligently cared for, and the scuff plates in this car are pretty well perfect, as are these beautiful heated seats, and indeed everything around the cockpit. Sitting down into the car, and here is the combination of technology and design, aesthetics and ergonomics, which make the F-Type such a pleasure to own and drive. Looking around the cockpits, we've got a little net there between the 2 headrests where you could keep a couple of things safe if you wish to. Under the armrest here, we've got USB, 12 volt and micro SD cards for the infotainment system. Then we've got, of course, the cup holders there. And by the way, 2 cup holders with a smaller recess in the middle there, which will hold, for example, one of those small drink cans, which seem to be popular with Red Bull and things like that these days. Moving on to the centre console, and we'll start up the supercharged V6 in order to explore what's going on here. So it's push button start. As we start the engine, you'll see the instrument panel do its little self-test flying display, and then you'll see the centre air vent rise up into position 2.
What's Paloma Faith wearing?
There we are. It's a little touch which is visually very entertaining. A lot of drivers say it's one of the things that drew them to. A lot of drivers say it's one of the things that drew them to an F-Type in particular. So back here to the centre console, and we've got a series of switches for Eco Stop Start, for the deployable spoiler on the boot, traction control off, and the switched active sports exhaust there, those valves in the exhaust which improve the exhaust note when you're driving in a sporty style. Electronic parking brake with, of course, hill start assist. And then we come to the shift stick, this beautiful piece of design, leather clad with the park button on the top and a trigger on the front so that we can move into drive. and from drive we can go across into sport, and when we're in sport shifting we can shift up and down like so using the shift stick itself. We have of course always got the shift paddles, the flappy paddles here on the steering column, which enable you to change gear without taking your hands off the wheel. Back to the shift stick, we're back in drive there, and let's move to the right and look at the driving mode selector switch. It's spring-loaded to the middle. If we move it rearwards, you'll see the checkered flag illuminate, and on the dashboard the instruments turn red and we get dynamic mode confirmed up there, which tells us now we're in dynamic mode, and that means that the throttle, the suspension, the steering and the gearbox are set up for a sportier driving style. We'll then pop back into normal mode, and another push forward illuminates the rain, ice, snow indicator, and we get confirmation there on the dash as well. And this is a mode which really effectively calms down the F-Type in icy weather or on very slick roads. If you have to drive a long distance in the winter, it's a really worthwhile mode to use because it will make the driving experience so much more relaxed. It does calm the car down very effectively. Back over here, and we've got the climate control switches, including the switch for the heated front windscreen. So the electric heating elements in the windscreen on this car, another of the expensive extra cost options on it, and really good to have in a British winter. Dual zone climate control, so passenger and driver can select the temperatures they wish. And as I said earlier, heated seats, 3-stage electrically heated, so you can dial in the temperature that you want on those and be toasty warm. And on that topic, by the way, we also have on this car the electrically heated steering wheel, which is such a great pleasure on a cold day in the winter to have your hands permanently warmed on the wheel. Back to the infotainment, and here we have the home screen on the system with audio, telephone, climate and navigation accessible from it if we explore some of those. So the audio options, we're on DAB music at the moment, but we can also have FM radio if we choose to by going to a different band. We can go in and use Bluetooth, so Spotify on your phone or BBC Sounds or whatever you prefer to listen to will play through the system. And then we have a media library as well, so you can load tunes on the media library and listen to them directly from the car's built-in jukebox. Then we've got the climate control with the synchronization button there that enables you to bring the two temperatures back together, and you can select the airflow in the different directions that you wish or have it in automatic to your own preference. Another means of accessing the audio system there, and then of course we've got Bluetooth telephony, very good, crisp and clear, making and receiving calls, and with controls on the steering wheel as well. There's your Bluetooth telephone button on the steering wheel for safety. And then the navigation system, very clear, a large screen, very crisp display, very easy to interact with. It's easy to put your destination in, it's easy to understand the instructions it's giving you. It's one of the better satellite navigation systems certainly that I've driven with. And again, you can see throughout the center console here, everything is in very fine condition indeed, as is the steering wheel, no nasty wear or marks on it anywhere. And on the switch clusters here, we've got infotainment on the left, and on the right, cruise control and active speed limiter. And on the stalks there, we've got the automatic headlamps on the left and rain sensitive wipers on the right. And then on the instrument binnacle right in front of us there, we can select various information. We can configure the trip computer, we can configure the display, look at the vehicle settings and vehicle information, cycling through those menu options as well. It's a beautiful place to be, made even more so by this beautiful panoramic roof. It's a huge panoramic roof. They're letting the sun flood in when you wish it to, but if it gets too hot, just slide the screen across and the temperature will cool down in the cockpit. Again, everything in very fine order indeed. Let's switch the engine off and take a look in the boot. A lot of sports coupes sacrifice practicality and boot space to the design of the car, but not so Jaguar's F-Type. They have managed to incorporate 310 litres of room in the boot, with areas that extend out behind each wheel arch and a handy stowage under this little cover here where you can keep some bits and pieces. As long as you pack soft-sided bags and not hard-sided suitcases, no problem at all fitting in luggage for quite a long journey. Friends of mine have done 6 or 7 weeks away in F-types without difficulty. And again, you can see here, everything is in beautiful condition. No nasty stains or marks, no blemishes to remark upon at all. 2-stage locking is enabled on this F-type, so if we unlock once, just the driver's door unlocks and a second push of the button unlocks the passenger door, and that means we can take a look in the passenger side of the car, where everything again is in beautiful condition. I dare say a perfect door card. The scuff plate, in fact, still has its plastic cover on from the factory. And the dashboard, carpet mat, and this beautiful heated leather seat with the Alcantara insert, which of course is cooler in the summer and warmer in the winter than a full leather seat, is in perfect order. Everything looking very good indeed. Under the bonnet, and here is Jaguar's 3-litre supercharged V6 engine, producing 380 horsepower and driving this F-type from 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds and onto a top speed of 171 miles per hour. Everything under the bonnet again in very fine order. I've already mentioned the service history. This car has flown through our inspections without any issues. It drives perfectly. Everything on it functions just as it should. And it is a real pleasure to have it here in stock. So thank you very much indeed for watching. It's been a great pleasure to show you this beautiful F-type. We are Sports and Touring. We're just outside Andover in Hampshire, very easy to access by road and by rail, and indeed air as well. If you're flying to see us, we'll pick you up at the airport at Heathrow or Southampton. If you're coming by rail, we'll collect you at Andover railway station with pleasure. If you've got a vehicle to dispose of on your buying journey, we'll give you frank and honest advice about the best way to achieve the maximum value with the minimum inconvenience. And if you'd like to chat about finance, we can do that as well. We're authorised and regulated by the FCA. You're very welcome to telephone, email or WhatsApp us with any inquiries, or if you'd like to arrange to see this beautiful car or any of our other stock, either in person or by video call. And we keep a Google Drive, that's an online folder for each of our cars with high-resolution photos which you can zoom in on, and PDF copies of important documents as well. We can send you the access so that you can view those things. Do please take a few moments to read our reviews in Auto Trader. I am very proud indeed of how our previous customers speak about us. And I'll close by saying thank you again for watching, and I do hope that we'll hear from you very soon.